Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the broadcast. My name's Todd, and you guys are watching Digging Life. Today, we're going to be taking the 289 D3 cat skid steer with grapple. We're going to be shuttling material from the top of the hill down to the fire pit. That way, when it finally rains, we're going to light one heck of a bonfire. As that super goofy thumbnail indicated, what I really want you guys to take from today's video is the cost of grease is getting pretty high. Used to, I could say grease was cheap, but then I went and bought some the other day, and I had to buy these individually at Advance Auto Parts, and each one of these 14-ounce tubes of red and tacky was $8.99, and I was like, nope, that ain't gonna work. That seems really expensive to me. So I did like what everybody does for everything at this point. I took a long shot and I'm like, Amazon, let's try it. I thought there's no way they've got grease on Amazon. Well, they did. I'm not getting paid to tell you guys this. It's just that my channel really is dedicated to my viewers and people getting started in this business. I went on there and found a case of 30 of these things, and it was like 150 something bucks. It came down to be a little over $5 a tube. Okay, do you want to pay $9 a tube or $5 a tube? I think it was actually $5.50. What I've been using is Tractor Supply Traveler brand grease. And I really don't like it. I don't like the way it feels. It may be a great grease. There's no science in my decision other than I used to use red and tacky, and it seemed like it stayed really, really well. So I'm going back to this red and tacky. So that's the main thing for this video. There's none of this wait until the end of the video for money saving tips or anything. I don't want you guys to have to watch me shuttle brush all day if you don't want to. The big thing is, it comes to grease, fuel, what have you, buy it in bulk. I purchased my diesel fuel in bulk from a local supplier. They bring it straight to my yard and I can fuel there. I don't have to stop and fuel at fuel stations every time I turn around. You're having to pull your card out, go inside, get your receipt. Don't do none of that. Find you a local supplier, they'll bring it straight to your house, you pay one bill a month, you're good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and fuel this machine up, because every pound that I get in that tank in the back of the machine is a pound more that I can haul in the front. We guessed that one just right. I had just enough hose to reach the back of that machine. And it is Tuesday, July 2nd. Let's go move some logs and brush. I think I'm just going to keep you guys in the cab with me today. That way you'll see everything I do in this process. And that way if you see something you have a question about, you can ask it. One thing we found, me and Emma, with this Cat 289 D3 is sometimes, depending on how you're parked and the way you got this boom, this won't seal good here. And I think it probably just needs a little bit of adjusting here. Next time I send it in next time I send this thing in for service, I'm gonna have them adjust that door. Sometimes you have to slam it really hard, and then sometimes you just barely pull it, it'll seal right up. Safety first. I will admittedly say that I don't always wear my seatbelt in the dump truck, even though I should. We're going to be running at full throttle today. This is what the machine really sounds like with noise reduction. Sounds more like a TIE fighter from Star Wars, somebody pointed out, and that's pretty accurate. What I'd like to do is get everything down here close enough to where I can bring the Yanmar excavator, drop it off, and get the Cat excavator out of here to take it to some mowing jobs. We've got a lot of stuff to get done on this hillside. And just like when we were taking everything down, I'm going to go the farthest distance from the bottom, and that way if a rainstorm blows up and traction becomes compromised, I can still, you know, it won't take me as long to move everything. Alrighty, got that hole grab. And what I do when I'm carrying up high like that, I'll roll my grapple all the way back, and I'll usually carry it with the, well, you can say about the level with my roof. As long as I'm not leaning side to side, I feel pretty secure. This thing feels so much lighter than the excavator. Like when you're driving it, it just floats along. Of course, their ride seat does help a lot. Vines don't like to turn loose sometimes. Move this log here. You guys got any questions about what's going on or why I'm doing something a certain way, just drop it in the comments. I've been trying really hard to answer every single comment, especially questions. If it's just, you know, just talking back and forth, I'll drop an emoji just so you guys, you know, it's better than just me hearting it. At some point I probably will have to go back to that, but right now I've got time. I think I'm gonna go ahead and target getting all of the brush first. Today is cleanup day. I've got 18 hours left on the time budget for this project. I think I'll use today to get all the stuff moved down, and hopefully I'll have time to go back over with the grapple and clean all the ground debris up on the hillside. I'm not going to do that down here because in transferring all this material to the fire when the day comes, I'm going to have debris everywhere anyway. Back up the hill. When you're working on these steep hillsides, if you can lay your brush to where you can come in from the bottom and go uphill to grab everything, sometimes it's not possible. But if you get a good heavy load and you're facing downhill on a skid steer, a lot of times it's worse to tip you forward, and that'll make you lose traction. Let's make sure I got all that. Yep, got him. This little 289 D3, for the most part, unless I get a really heavy stump or really heavy grab of logs, I haven't made grabs of brush that it just couldn't handle in this size grapple. And this grapple is 84 inches wide, which affords me the ability to really carry long grabs without them bowing over and breaking off on the sides. My advice, however wide your machine is, get you a grapple that sticks out about 6 inches on each side if you can. It makes cleanup work a lot easier. See all that dust and dirt coming down? That's why I like having this pressurized cap. It won't let it come in on me. Easy now. Stack that pile high, real high. You folks that are new to this, don't carry your loads high like me. It's an unnecessary risk a lot of the times. For me, it's just visibility. Well, I was getting ready to set the camera up outside for doing a little time lapse, but I put my tripod in the grapple when I headed over here, which means that grapple is somewhere in there, more than likely destroyed. Oh well, no sense in crying over crushed tripods, I guess. Rest its soul. So, a little bit bigger wood pile over here. So once the brush gets burning, we can slowly step up to logs, then wood, then we put our stumps on. Touching on something I said in one of the last videos, people say stumps won't burn. They don't burn on their own. Not very well, not unless you get a big brush pile going and then it burns down and you put a bunch of stumps on it. You have to have other wood on the fire first, and the flames from that is what'll burn the stumps up. But as far as just, I've never done it, but as far as just making a giant pile of just stumps and setting them on fire without brush or limbs, logs, something else, I don't think it would work too well. I've always been lucky enough to have other materials first that did the burning. Well, I guess Sam's not going to answer the phone. Hello, Sam. Well, you know, just easing along. Would you like to say hello to the folks on the YouTube? I say, you want to say hello to the folks on the YouTube?
Oh, sure. Hello, everybody.
Well, I was on the phone with Sam over at TriStar Digging channel, and I see fluid. I think that same O-ring that blew out before is blown out. Let's hope that's all it is. I'll cut this off, turn the key back on, hit this button, enable the hydraulics, move our rocker switch to bleed the pressure. Okay. Yeah, we'll unhook the lines. It's just part of it. I should have plenty of those O-rings. On hand. Oh yeah, I believe it's coming from right in there. Let's pull that O-ring out and see what that does. There may be some pressure on this, so we'll protect our eyes. I tried tightening it up earlier and it was already really tight, and usually that means if it's coming from the fitting there and it's tight and it don't really tighten up much more, That means that more than likely that O-ring is busted out. This one's easy to get to. Fluid's gonna be hot. Huh. That O-ring is completely blown out. Actually not. O-ring's not in too bad a shape. But it is deformed. I don't know if you guys can see that. Actually doesn't look in too bad a shape. But it is pinched. I had to tighten this a week or so ago. What probably happened, it got loose and this O-ring got pushed out a little, and when I retightened it, it mashed it. So I should have just went in and took it off, checked the O-ring then. But no big deal. I think I've got plenty of these. Luckily I keep a kit on hand. I forgot I took that out. Thank God. So I'd have heard about it from Kelly if I told her I mashed another tripod. Come here, Mr. O-ring kit. Set you right here. Now, hopefully, we have plenty of those, which if my memory serves me, I do. Let's see. I want to say it was one of these. Oh, this is the smallest one I got. I just can't remember what size it was I ended up putting in here last time. There it is. We'll seal him back up. Can y'all see that? That fire's trying to take off. It's smoking like one thing. Got two on my microphone. And that. Fish sticks. That was an easy enough fix. I did notice we have one more stump up there. I'll have to jump on the excavator and rip it out later, but that won't take long. Y'all can see right here where I already started kind of raking it up, and then on this side we've still got a lot of debris. We'll get it raked on up a little bit more. Just kind of got to take our time so I don't hook those teeth too low. Fortunate that by pulling all the stumps out, I'm also coming up with a whole lot of grubbings and just waste that I can put down here in the grubbings pile. I'm hoping that by the time we burn all of this and fill this pit back in, that we still have a whole lot of that good dirt left over to use on future projects with this customer's property. Grubbings will rot down underground a little bit, but not like if you just buried wood. I'll mound up the ground just a little bit to account for the settling that's going to happen. If you've noticed me avoiding this stump, I have for a reason. It's a big old maple. I don't even think I can lift it the way it's laying right now. I have not been looking forward to it. Come on. Ah, what do you know? I can drag that thing. I just can't turn. Let's grab him right here. See if that'll do. Drag him by the roots. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to. Golly, it's dusty. That's great for the air filters. I'll see if I can get around him and flip him over. Maybe. Maybe I can. All right, big boy. I don't want to do this. Go. He's a big one. Charge! I can just barely lift the weight off the ground. Here we go. I half mind to go ahead and push it in that hole and let it be cooking, but then I probably won't be able to lift it up to get it out of the fire to restack it. So I think I'm just going to stick this thing right here and forget about it. What I would like to do is be able to flip it though to where the roots can dry and we can beat the dirt off of it. Go, big boy. There we go. Y'all probably can't see nothing. Let's let the dust cloud clear here. That's a big old stump, isn't it? Here we go. My favorite way to get a hold of a stump is to go from the bottom so the stem or the trunk is on the other side pointing straight away from me. And I like to kind of come in here and grab the root ball and squeeze it and just tilt it up right like that. That to me is the best way to carry these stumps with a grapple on a skid steer. Here we go. Get in there. It might be 2 weeks before we can burn. It's not looking good. Not good at all. I have to windshield wiper the dust off. Oh, come on. Surely I can get that. Gotta make each trip count, folks. These people are paying us. It's like our fire quit smoking. Whatever fell down on it must have simmered out. I'm going to finish scraping up this hillside. I'll check back in when we're going up with the excavator. I've gotten all of that part of the hillside cleaned up right now. And now I'm focusing on just all this junk area with weeds and such, smoothing it out and stripping a lot of the weeds off. They're getting pulled out by the roots, but the grass is staying put pretty good. It'll grow back fairly quickly. To strip this, I'm just using the grapple. I put it all the way down and then I'll roll those teeth down the bottom of the grapple. And I'm not even digging the teeth in. I'm just going to apply light pressure, go into snail mode, and take a nice slow pace. That way it's not just lurching, and it has power to hook any little stumps and push them out. the front of my tracks are just slightly up off the ground. That puts a lot of pressure on the back of the tracks and it gets better traction. So I'm just gonna keep working this stuff down to the bottom of the hill and it'll line right up with the other grubbings pile. Oh, hey, look at the frogs jumping in here. Look at them go. Lord, the tadpoles. My. See if this is still not flowing. Oh, yeah, that's dried up good. That is great news. Great news. So you know what I'm going to try on that? Fuel tank repair. I've repaired plastic fuel tanks with those kits before and it works great. So I'm going to stop by probably Advanced Auto Parts today and get one of those kits, and tomorrow we'll see if we can get that to fix that up. I'm thinking this has just stopped flowing. So the only thing that's going to feed this right now is, the only thing that's going to feed this pond now is rain. But the good news is, every time I've been here and it's come any kind of a decent rain, water pours down that side and that side. So I'm just going to grade, when I go to leave, I'm going to grade some cuts to channel all the water that comes off that hillside, both sides, down to here. And this thing should stay full, unless it stops raining, which it could. Back to work. I command thee, release thy stump. Oh. I thought she was going to be a rollaway. Kind of like a runaway, but whoa, that had a little bit of a fight to him. Sons of cousins. That was the last stump, I say. It's a good feeling. Last stump until the next job. Know what I mean, Vern? Got the last stump off of Suicide Hill, and now I'm making the last grab or couple of grabs of brush from the edges. I want to leave this looking really, really nice for my customer. And that is involving me having to go back along these edges where I can't really get the skid steer down in there safely. Gonna pull all this out, leave it really nice and clean. Leave it with something they're happy with. And after I pull this brush, I'm also going down the edges and just kind of raking my way along and making it nice and even. Get the roots and everything.